What's up, everyone, and happy holidays. It's Joe, and in the spirit of the holidays, what would they be without giving myself a little gift? And that gift today is the Masters of the Universe Origins Skeletor figure, my favorite character of all time, my double, my triple, my quadruple main man, the overlord of evil himself. We're gonna open this up right now, but before we do, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you'd like to further support, drop down into the description, check out my merch store, maybe buy something to help me keep this going. But now, we have to open this up. I've been dying to do it. I've been holding on to it for a long time because I wasn't planning on opening up any of these figures. I have been, so, oh man. All right, we're gonna do it. Let's take a look at the card quickly. We've talked about it before in the He-Man video. Go check that one out if you haven't seen it already. But the backing card, very reminiscent to the originals. You got your bursting rocks, your Masters of the Universe logo, your classic Masters logo, the new for 20 burst, Skeletor packed with a couple weapons. There's mini comic. On the back, we get the Wave 1 selection, your directions on how to use him properly and enable all his actions, how to hold his weapons. And we get that cool piece of artwork that Mattel has been putting on all these figures, that nice glossy piece. This one with Skeletor and his Havoc staff, and it says, "The nefarious overlord Skeletor wants to control the power within Castle Grayskull." Does it get much better than this? I really don't think it does. I had my problems with the He-Man figure, but now we're gonna crack this one open and see how I feel about Skeletor. So, got our comic book, Beast Barrage. As far as I know, all the Wave 1 figures come with the same mini comic packed in. I came prepared with my knife to free him. Weapons pack. We got a rubber band at the bottom, so he should be good to go. At first glance, very quick. I'm really digging the way this looks, the way it feels in my hand. I like the blue coloring on him. The paint looks just like how I would imagine Skeletor to look, with the purple armor and chest plate and accessories. The face. Now, I had a big problem with the face on the He-Man figure, but with this one, I'm a lot better with it. I like the coloring, very reminiscent of the original. One of the big differences that I notice is around the mouth, they have these lines painted, kind of almost supposed to look like teeth, but it gives it more of a, almost a little bit more of a comical look, not so much like an evil look to me, but he still maintains that aura of being the evil villain in this series. So I'm very happy with that. The other thing I noticed right away is with the positioning of his chest armor, it does a good job of disguising the shoulder joints that I had a problem with on the He-Man figure. If you remember, I said that they just seem very bulky, very protruding on the He-Man figure because his armor is very thin and doesn't do anything to disguise it. It's very exposed. Here on the Skeletor, it just looks fine because he's got these shoulder flaps covering them, disguising them. So to me, that looks pretty good. He's got his classic belt and, what would you call that, dressing? It's not a loincloth, but it would be the equivalent of one. But he's got his classic outfit on, very reminiscent of the original. I think this is actually a good figure. Just having it in my hand, seeing it up close, and not through a package, obviously is very different than just admiring it while it's mint on card. But this one I like a lot better than the He-Man. Obviously, He's got all his points of articulation that did not exist in the original figure. So you have articulation at the elbows and at the hands and wrists and along the ankles and the knee joints. So you've got all that. That makes this a updated version of an original looking Skeletor figure. We're gonna open into his weapons pack. So we've got his Havoc staff and his half of the power sword. Unlike the He-Man figure where the accessories were different paints, different shades of color, they are both purple. I never think of Skeletor with the sword. To me, he's always the Havoc staff. He doesn't really have a slot to hold the sword on his back like the He-Man did, and I would display him with the sword in the back and holding the Havoc staff, because that's how I always picture my Skeletor. Always Havoc staff. Keeping in tune with what we've been doing in this line, comparing him to the original. A lot of similarities, but still a much better updated feature with the modern amenities that action figures produce nowadays. His original face, the coloring is similar. You got that like green background with the yellow face coming out, the red eyes. The mouth is different. He had more of an evil looking mouth on the original figure than he does with the way they kind of have these lines painted around his mouth on the new version. But the armor, very, very, very similar, if not identical. Even down to the straps on the back and how he can hold his sword. My original is a half boot variant. There are tons of paint variations. I may have said it before, I don't get really heavy into paint variations. A lot of that is just due to whatever factory they were produced in, whether your Skeletor is from Malaysia or Taiwan or Mexico or wherever. Otherwise, the same kind of webbed feet and the purple boots to go along with everything else. This is a really sharp looking Skeletor, the new one, and I'm really happy with it. I think this is, now we're only 3 figures deep into these reviews so far, but this obviously is gonna step right up to the front of the line because number one, I have an unrequited love for Skeletor, and I just think it's a super cool figure. I did really like the Battle Cat, the He-Man not so much, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad. When it comes to this, I'm gonna say really good job by Mattel. I feel like they captured the essence of Skeletor. There's no big crazy differences with this figure, but that's okay. They kept to what makes Skeletor Skeletor, and that's all I want. You gave me an updated Skeletor, and that's something I can be happy about. And I will be even happier when the Panther finally comes out. That way he can sit on top and lead him into battle. That way he can try to control the powers within Castle Grayskull. So all in all, I'm gonna say Mattel did a really good job with this Skeletor. I'm very happy with it. We will continue these MOTU Origins unboxings as we go along, so make sure to subscribe, set those alerts so you don't miss them. Happy holidays again. We'll see you next time.